I like how his huge body blocks most of the animation. Wow. I can never understand what makes this do more or less damage. Sometimes it does way more damage than other times. Shout out the blowhole. Yeah, see, it did enough damage to shoot this form in one hit that time. And I don't understand what the difference is. This is dangerous now. Don't hit Marcy, please. That might be Marcy. Ooh, okay. Barely. So he has Vigora on, and using an element, even though it normally uses 7 stamina, only, like, uses 1 of the free stamina from Vigora. That's a really bad that miss, by the way. Oh my god, these misses. I'm gonna have to heal with Marcy. And what do I do? Okay, yeah, that works. This is getting really butt clench. This fight is not going well. Okay, that's a really good attack from him. That's way better than the other options he could have done. I need that, even if it doesn't hit. I just need to swing with it. We need to stamina refresh again. And this is where it's gonna get dangerous. I should be fine though. Yeah, he can kill somebody with free fall. but I can revive them with Mercy. Really?
Thirteen hit point punch.
Oh my god. I'm gonna use another recover all with Mercy for safety here. Because if he uses the glide attack, I'm gonna be in trouble. Actually, I want to use a heal all. Because recover all will make the fields white and make it do more damage. Yeah, if you use that attack and I use recover all, this would have hurt quite a lot. I once tried to use Saints on the last form, not remembering that this form absorbs white attacks and it heals him.
Ugh. Yeah.
That was a really messy fight. I had to adjust a lot of things on the fly. And since I have to use so many stamina refreshes on that fight, trying to adjust things on the fly is really dangerous. Because if you don't get the stamina refreshes, like the negative stamina amounts just right, you won't get the full 7 stamina back. Alright, so now we get some cutscenes, we get the Chrono Cross, and then we finish with the game. Since you're standing, I'm just going to take the couch. So it drops you in another world right next to the Divine Dragon Falls. Divine Dragon Falls isn't actually a location that shows up on the map. Like in most places where you can enter an area, you walk up to it and it'll give a little white pop-up that'll say, you know, this is the area you're about to enter. When you go to Divine Dragon Falls, that doesn't happen. So you just have to run there and hit X. But given JRPGs, how common it is to have a hidden area behind a waterfall, it's not that big of a stretch.
Oh no, don't bury the chest.
Yeah, I never picked up the chest. You have to go down that like ladder over there and go all the way around. It's not worth it.
Probably a tablet.
If that was a tablet, I would be impressed. This late in the game, a tablet.
Very tablet.
At the end of a long corridor.
I love this part because after all this traffic there, tower is just like.
Ew.
It's weird because you think you win, but the Dragon God still merges with the Frozen Flame and becomes the Time Devourer, even after you beat him down.
Literally what it wanted.
Which is what it wanted. So even though you think that you just did a good thing, the tower, since the Dragon God became the Time Devourer, starts transforming into its other form. But at first, it still looks like the tower is like gonna collapse or something. And you're like, what's going on? Is it petrifying, huh? And then you realize that it's actually transforming, and it's like, wait. This is stuff like this is why Puexel said he didn't understand what was going on until he got to Opasa Beach before the final boss and just talked to the ghosts of Chrono, Marl, and Luca, because they explain a lot of things.
Yeah.
Puexel didn't make it for the Dragon God. He's probably still asleep in the other room.
No.
What?
You're right. He didn't make it to Dragon God.
That text is so silly. So that's Terra Tower's final form. And then like Glenn is like all life forms dream of becoming more powerful. Like how is that even relevant? Glenn,
Dynamite
please.
drop in, Glenn.
So you need to go back here to get into the Divine Dragon Falls. If you've been paying attention, this is where Radius found the mass immune.
Shinies. Gotta find shiny thing.
Mm-hmm.
Shiny, shiny, shiny.
I don't think I triggered that right. Oh, it did, okay. I was facing the wrong direction, but it took it. You get the 2 pieces of the broken dragon tier on the altars.
And the evil face in the wall behind him.
Don't forget to equip the Chrono Cross.
I won't forget to equip the Chrono Cross, thank you.
Yes. I was gonna say that too.
Yes, it is all capital letters.
Zoa blessed the subject himself.
The Chrono Cross is a level 8 element that can be equipped to level 1.
It's not gonna work anywhere near as good.
So the Chrono Cross is actually a really good element if you get it earlier. It has a really unique effect. If you don't use it in the final boss to trigger the good ending, it still is very useful, especially since you can put it on level 1. What it does is it will refresh all of your elements that you've used in battle. So all the elements that you've used already in that battle and are grayed out will become usable again, even summons. So it's actually really useful in a casual playthrough. The problem is, like, you'd have to get it early. And, like, if you want to summon twice on a boss, most of them are going to live long enough for the second summon. So it's an interesting ability that wasn't really thought out that much.
Well, I assume it was for like people on the final boss trying to figure out what to do.
Yeah, probably.
Rip around for a while.
So I already have my elements equipped for the way I need them. What? Time egg, please. See, this is it says to the darkness of time. And you can still run away from this fight if it goes bad. Did I heal Mercy?
You'll find out.
I don't think I did.
I guess they'll be running away.
No, I don't have to run away. I might get lucky. No, like, if he hits somebody else, I'll be fine, even if she is low 1 health. We'll just, see what happens. Yes, Shayla's hair color is different. She's been trapped inside of Lavos getting her magic drained. Okay, yeah, we're all healed. Okay, perfect luck would be if he waits for me to get the defend off so that everybody's at 7 stamina and then takes his turn right there. Oh. So there are 2 ways of doing this fight. The first several turns from the boss will always be green elements. So you can do yellow, red, and wait for him to do green. Or you can do what I do, where you get 6 element levels spread across everyone. So that's yellow, red. I use turn elements because they're the fastest animation. And cast 6 elements. Because when you cast the 6 elements in order, yellow, red, green, blue, black, white, the boss's AI gets disabled. I have to stop and think about it. Because it's not possible to cast 7 elements in order without the boss getting a turn. So when I cast the white here from Marcy, it will be the boss's turn and it won't do anything. It'll just skip its turn. And then I'll get a stamina refresh. I guess one of my attacks at the beginning missed. And get ready for time. Time. Nice.
Yes.
Everyone else who could be excited is asleep.
So the way I did it was that I got everybody to have 2 element levels, made sure they all had 7 stamina, and then I can cast 6 elements with 6 stamina so the boss doesn't get a turn. You have to make sure that the boss takes a turn immediately before you start casting those, if you're going to do it that way. But if a lot of people who didn't know exactly how to set that up right, and they didn't know that his AI gets disabled, so you had to try and cast 7 elements in a row, I think the most common answer was to do yellow, red, and then let the boss cast a green element. Because it's like first 3 turns, I think, are green elements. It's just programmed in to always be green.
Oh, and by the way, this music rocks.
Yeah, one last reminder that you can donate to win the Chrono Cross soundtrack.
Yes. Time's almost up to donate. You're gonna do it. Get your bids in now.
The ending is kind of funny here because it revolves around Shayla and kind of Kid, because Kid is an attempted clone of Shayla by Chronopolis. And so the ending revolves a lot around Kid. And to recap, we told Kid that 3 times when she was practically begging us to travel with us, no, and that we didn't want to travel with her. Then she got mortally poisoned, and we didn't even try to help her. Then she was cavorting around with the villain, and we didn't really seem to care that a whole lot. So she was just gone for 4 hours. And then at the end of the game, after Chronopolis, she's in a coma and seems unable to recover. And we didn't try to save her before finishing the game. So the total amount of time that Kid was in our party was about half an hour. And the ending revolves completely around her. There is actually some text to mash through here.
They had to clean this up without destroying everyone's ears right now.
One of the reasons why you don't see the Japanese runners ever do the good ending, even though the good ending is pretty comparable to the normal ending, not the bad ending. Especially like if you don't get perfect luck on the normal ending, is that Japanese timing goes until the end screen. And the good ending, yeah, the good ending adds time onto the ending. There's extra scenes.
So they only do it if it's a duration of something.
They only do it if it's a special event. The Chrono Cross RTA community in Japan is actually pretty big. So they set up these challenge events where everybody does a run under these specific specifications, and they see who gets a better time.
Like, use a specific character you normally wouldn't use.
They did one that revolved around Kid. Like, you let Kid join your party so you don't get Lena. You have to save Kid, so you do the Hydra Marshes side quest. And, like, you had to help Kid, basically. And it added, like, an hour and a half onto the run. It was pretty bad. Because they didn't have Lena in Terra Tower.
Oh, yeah.
They had to use Guile. Guile has a really high magic stat, but Guile has an inverted element grid. So his level 1 elements, he, like, gets 1 or 2 slots, and then he gets more slots at the high levels of his element grid.
That's actually really weird.
find it amusing how pretty much the entire thing was him in a coma for the most part.
No, that's
just-
not him in a coma.
Or just him passed out, I should say.
No, he wakes up there because when you defeat the Time Devourer, it like fixes the worlds.
Undevours.
Like the two worlds that have been split apart become one again. So then he wakes up back there where it all started with Lena not really knowing what happened because that Lena wasn't the one that traveled with us.
It was the alternate.
It was the alternate Lena, yeah. I can stop mashing now.
Actually, for 9 hours, I can't stop.
Pretty much. That's an accurate assessment.
Your fingers just on pneumatic mode now.
What? You're gonna go die? Can you pass that pill that's tossed down there back up here? I don't know where it is. I am not going to be able to stay awake, Key. I'm sorry. When the East games got moved, it just wasn't going to work out. Because originally East was like on Thursday, wasn't it? I think it was. Also, when you play on fast disk speed, the little movie here in the credits always glitches out on the left side. It's like the only error that you get in the game from fast disk speed, which is actually better than most PlayStation 1 games. It depends on the game. On like fast disk speed on some versions of PlayStations don't work as well for certain games. Like if you play FF8 on fast disk speed on a fat PS2, it will freeze a lot. But if you play it on a slim, it won't. Because the driver for the fast disk speed is slightly different on the slim than from the fat. And also the one I have here is the 90,000 model of the PS2. It has a better driver for some games as well. But this song here is part of the reason why people donated for the good ending, so I'm going to shut up. Alright, so that was Chrono Cross. The ending here is a little bit ambiguous, but there's a letter that shows up, and basically Shayla slash Kid says that she's gonna find Surge no matter when, no matter where. And that whole ending was basically her looking throughout Japan, trying to find him. And then it focuses in on her, and she slowly turns around, kind of showing that she found him. And then it cuts to Kid on the beach. So yeah, that's the good ending. That was Chrono Cross. Thanks for watching, guys. Key Paladin's going to play East 1 coming up next. We're going to split the recordings, so it might take a few extra minutes on setup. I'm going to check my in-game time here to see how awful it's going to be. And then we're probably going to run a commercial. Did I get sub 9 in-game time? That is the question. Ooh, no. In-game time is quite a bit longer than real time. Can you guys mute me?